3, 2, whoops. 3, 2, 1, whoops. Welcome back to Stackhouse Knives. Thank you so much for watching this evening's stream. I hope you're all having a nice evening. So this stream I'm going to be making a Kiridashi, a small Japanese utility knife, a single beveled knife. And yeah, so that's the plan for the stream. I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, if you are watching, thank you so much for watching. And I'd love to hear how your evening is doing. And I've got a piece of steel in the fire at the moment. I'm using a piece of high carbon spring steel, which will be what I'm using for the project. I need to first straighten out this spring steel so that it's nice and straight, so it's easy to work instead of a big curved bendy shape as it is. I want to straighten this guy out and then start forming the blade of the Kiridashi. So essentially, once we've got the blade formed, I will get some progress going after that. But for now, we'll straighten the piece of steel. I'll get my health and safety gear on, and we'll go. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you're all having an awesome evening. With my wheelchair. Okay, so that's the steel nice and straightened out. My plan is now to start forging the blade. I'm going to leave it nice and long so I can leave a bit more material if I choose to change my mind. Let me move my chair over. And once I've got the overall blade shape done, depending on how much time I've got as well, but ideally I want to get the shape formed tonight in the next half an hour. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. But once it's straight, I've got a little bit more time to work now as well. But yeah, thank you all for joining the stream. I hope you're all having a nice, amazing evening. It's, I think, rainy at the moment. It's quite cloudy. But it seems to be getting lighter in the evenings at the moment, weirdly enough. But anyway, hope you're all enjoying the stream. So to quickly recap, what I'm going to be making for this evening is a Kiridashi, which is a small Japanese style utility knife. They're usually a single bevel on one side and sometimes flat ground or hollow ground, but think about it as a Japanese version of a Stanley knife. It's got quite a steep angle to it, straight blade, and that corner is really great for doing all sorts. So I'm going to be making one of those this evening. Hope you're all enjoying the stream, and yeah, let me know how your evening is going. Just finished work, or you're about to go to work and you're quickly getting a little bit of this stream in before you go to work, I don't know. Yeah, if you're driving home, you're stuck in traffic and it's gridlocked, then yeah, sit tight and enjoy it, and you'll have a nice ride home. So we're getting a little bit more of a flat piece of material, and yeah, once I flatten it and thin it out, I should have a little bit more of a blade shape. ideally. But for now, we'll stick this guy back in the fire. It is tool steel, so it's a lot harder to forge. It's a lot trickier because it's an alloy with all sorts of other, whoops, sitting on my chair. It's got all sorts of really hard components in it, such as a very high amount of carbon. As being a spring steel, it probably has a bit of chrome to stop erosion, a bit of silicon so it moves a bit easier for heat treat. Anyways, but yeah, it's harder steel and a lot harder to forge, but it holds an edge. That's the most important thing. So I'm just going to quickly view a bit of comments because we've already got a few. I'm going to scroll. How's it going, Jasmine? Justin, on my way home on the bus. Nice. You're going to have a good time. See ya. So yes, if you just enjoyed, the stream, I haven't finished the stream. If you've, just joined the stream, ideally I'm going to be making a small Japanese knife, a Kiridashi. Oh hi Ronald, how's it going? A Kiridashi, or however you spell it, is a good choice to make. Yes, that's the plan. So yeah, Kiridashi is the one to make. Kiridashi, which is a Kiridashi, or Kiridashi pronunciation wise, and that's the plan. So I've got a piece of high carbon steel in the forge, and that's the material I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using this high carbon steel to hopefully get a bit of shape going, a bit of a profile going. But yeah, that's the plan for this evening. But if you just joined the stream, thank you so much for watching. Sit tight. Lots of steel, lots of hot material. I'm going to get some water into me before I get too dehydrated. But yeah, it's going to be good. How's it going, Aaron? How's it going, Kathy? And special shout out to Vaughan Mason's birthday. Happy birthday, Vaughan. I hope you're having an awesome day. Yeah, enjoy it. Okie dokie, let's get back to it. Okay, so we've got a little bit more of a profile happening. Ideally, this is going to be the blade end. I want to make a bit of a point with that, to make a blade from the point. The rest of the material will be the handle, and then somewhere in the middle here, I'll probably hot cut that steel off. I don't need that. I could use that for a different project, but it's good to leave a little bit more extra metal because you can't put it back on, theoretically, without welding it back on, which is not what you want to do for a knife. So yeah, leaving a little bit more material is ideal for this kind of project, and then chop it off when you've had enough. So yeah. How are we all doing this evening? Hope we're having a good evening. Oh, trying to sit on my wheelie chair, it's not working. Okie dokie, Ronald. Yeah, you've seen a lot of Kiridashi made from Damascus steel, yeah. You can make them from high carbon steel, you could laminate them with two types of steel, iron and high carbon steel, stainless and high carbon steel, Damascus and high carbon, stainless and high carbon, sorry, I already said that, Damascus and stainless steel. You can do whatever you want. So yeah. After all your videos on YouTube, I've just watched How did I just realize you're left-handed, lol? I'm not left-handed. The video is actually flipped. I don't know why, but I'm picking this up on my right hand and it looks like my left hand. So maybe on my camera phone it likes to flip everything around, but when I upload them to YouTube they are flipped. So I need to flip them back in like post-production videos so that they look like they're not flipped. But for me, on my left, the forge is on my left, and yeah, it might look completely different, but I am right-handed. Yeah, for forging anyways. So yeah, hope you're all having a nice evening. Hope I haven't missed any comments. How's it going, Aaron? Lots of likes. Woo! We want it knife. I'm waiting for a crocodile Dundee. That's not a knife. Even though it's a tiny little Kiridashi, that's not a knife. Yeah, so yeah, enjoy the stream. Come on, emotes. I hear that. Okie dokie. Right. So a little bit more profile work. Again, I want a little bit of a taper where the handle begins from the on the Kiridashi. And if you just joined the stream, I'm making a small, Japanese style knife or utility knife. It's a single beveled knife. It's called a Kiridashi, which is yeah, Japanese for all. Need to check the pronunciation before I muck it up on live. I'm not going to tell you actually, but essentially, yeah, it's a nice small utility knife designed for. It's also single beveled, but a really nice little knife. They're quite popular if you Google them as well. So, yeah, yeah. If you just joined the stream, thank you so much for watching, and yeah, hope you're all having a nice evening. And if you're chilling out at home, you've already finished work. Or you're already, maybe you do night work and you finish in the, you start work in the evenings, so maybe you've just started work and you're doing a little bit of live streaming, but I don't know why, but anyway. And yeah, if you're not working today, then cool. Yeah, I'd love to hear from the comments from you guys, so just let me know how it's going. Justin, can you show your hammer please? What's the weight of it? I noticed you hold it in the middle. Is that a... I didn't explain that very well at all, sorry. Hold it in the middle. Is that for hammer control? It's just what I prefer holding the steel. I'm going to put this back in the fire and answer that question now. So this is the hammer I've been using for a while. I made this one quite a while ago. It's quite heavy on one side and a little bit more flat on the other. This hammer is made from 4140 tool steel, impact steel, and I kind of hold it here, yeah. It just depends on what I'm doing. If I want to hold it all the way here, yes, I can get more velocity with my swing, hammer control, accuracy, whatever you want to say. Yeah, it's an accuracy thing. I prefer to hold it quite loosely here when I'm working, so I don't put any strain on this part of my muscle up here, because sometimes it locks up, and then when it locks up, it gets kind of awkward to forge. So that's why, yeah, I like to remain quite loose with my grip, so that my hand doesn't get too tight, because after a long time, this will all start to lock up, especially this muscle along here. It's a really weird feeling when it you bend your arm and then you straighten it, and the muscle doesn't go. It's just too much torsion in one place, and you don't want that. Yeah, so try to keep a nice loose wrist. Try to keep it at a medium weight like that. That's how I like to work. But it just depends on the hammer, depends on what I want to do with the hammer as well. Sometimes if I'm working quite close, I'll choke the hammer and hold it right at the end and start working like that. And then if I've got a heavier hammer, maybe not this one, but I've got much longer and I want to just pound the crap out of it, then I can do it that way as well. But it just depends on what the grip is that you're trying to achieve. So I kind of work about there, ideally. I hope that answers the question, Justin, and yeah. Okie dokie, so take my earmuffs off. So I'm starting to put a little bit of a point on this guy. You can grind it to shape after forging. You could do all sorts, but this time round I'm gonna shape it to as close as I'd like it before I start grinding the profile. I'll probably forge the bevel in as well, and that just depends on the timing. How am I going for time as well? 5. Oh yeah, I've got plenty of time. Sweet. And I might even put a bit of a texture on it. I quite like a ball peen hammer texture on forged steel, so I might put a bit of a texture in there, and we'll see how it goes. Shea is right-handed, camera's mirrored, but ambidextrous. Yeah, I'm kind of ambidextrous as well, but that depends on what I'm doing again. Shea, what got you into blacksmithing? So I started at a school called the Learning Connection, which had a fantastic blacksmith studio. It's not just blacksmithing. I like knife making. I think they go hand in hand, and it just depends on what you want to call it. Metal smithing, blacksmithing, bladesmithing. Predominantly I'd like to call it bladesmithing. I can do blacksmith objects, but not as well as other people can. But the idea is that I'm still working with metal, I'm still working with steel. I think if you're a bladesmith, you have a much greater understanding of how high carbon steels and alloy steels work, as well as their molecular structure. You get a much better understanding that way of working with that kind of stuff, whereas blacksmiths will work with wrought iron or mild steel in this case if you can't find raw iron. Really just depends on what you want to call it, but you can call it metal smithing, and I forge steel, and that's what it is. But yeah, yeah, I did a course, fell in love with it. I've been doing it for about 8 years or so now. Professionally, probably more like 3 years, but I'm constantly learning, and that's the main thing. And yeah, every step is in the right direction, even though I break something, and that's important. But yeah, if you ever got into it, I'd say just do it, get into it. If you are physically capable, if you're not, then try the best of your ability. You may have to change your way of working. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I'll put this back in the fire. So yeah, if you just joined the stream, thanks for watching. So it's I'm using a piece of car spring or coil spring. I've cut the coil, I've put it in the forge, I've heated it and straightened it out. So I actually put it in the hardy hole of my anvil and then just use sheer leverage to move that guy over. You don't have to use a lot of brawn to move it. It's quite soft and pliable, so there's no muscle, there's no trick to it. It's all about leverage. And yeah, so once I've straightened that piece of steel out, I started hammering it flat because it was a round piece of steel. I want to flatten it to a nice flat bar, lengthen that guy out and start forming a bit of a blade profile because blades are flat. and slightly wide, and that's the idea. Once I've made that, I'll probably put a bit of a texture into the steel. Once I've got a texture, the texture's just for more of a ornate look to it, and yeah, it might add a bit of grip to it, but it's essentially just a detail, a little ornate look to it. But yeah, that's the plan. But yeah, I hope you've enjoying the stream. I haven't finished the stream yet. I need to check my time before I get too lost in what I'm doing. Okay, cool. I'm not too bad on time at all. Yeah, so I don't know if I'll be able to get this guy heat treated perfectly in time, but I could get some substance of heat treat done. Yeah, we'll see. I'll have another swig of water and get back to it. I think it's raining really heavy where I am. Very noisy. Right. Okie dokie. My earmuffs off, put them up there. So, I'm getting a little bit more of a point. So yeah, you can grind it or you can forge it. Tonight, I'm choosing to forge it to the rough shape. So I'm going to put a texture into the metal, start forging the bevel, so it's probably kind of hard to see on camera, but it's quite even on both sides. I'm going to forge a bevel that's one face that's on a nice angle, and once I've got a bevel, I want that bevel to pretty much meet the other face, so it's almost like a chisel grind, if you want to think about it that way. Once I've got the chisel grind in place, yeah, I'll probably normalize the piece and put a little bit of a heat treatment into it, and should be good. But ideally, we'll see how far we go. I might put a bit of a stamp or a maker's mark stamp on there, but we'll see how we go. But yeah, you can definitely get some nice pointed shapes just like that. So you can see how far the handle comes as well. So I'll probably want to pull that out a little bit further and then be done with that guy. So yeah, if you just joined the stream, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you're having a nice evening. If you've just finished work and you're chilling out watching telly or just watching the stream, thank you so much. Love to hear from you guys, and yeah, let me know how the stream quality is going on your end as well, because obviously it looked great on my end, because I'm the device streaming. But yeah, let me know how it's working on your end. But I think there's like a 30-second delay between the stream, between where I'm working and then how you're viewing it. But yeah, that'll be good. But yeah, put this guy back in the fire and get it hot again. I really love doing these streams. This is so fun. It's really good because it gets me in the groove for doing my evening classes just before, just after the stream. So I will get this done and just check my time again. Cool, doing well on time. Once I've done that, I'll start my blacksmithing evening class, and then I've got a really nice group of guys that have been progressing really well. They've been learning to forge mild steel and tool steel, and last week they actually made their own pair of tongs, which is so cool to see. Really, really awesome to see. But the first day, you give them a piece of steel, give them a hammer, and the first time you hit a piece of steel, it's not always the best. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but seeing these guys last Wednesday, it was absolutely amazing. They just started churning things out so quickly, and they've only been doing this for about 4 weeks now, 4 weeks of 3-hour sessions, and it's really nice to see how far they've come with just that little bit of progress. And yeah, they're just really awesome to see. But yeah. Alright, I'm just going to check some stream comments, and yeah, do love the streams. Quite awesome. Thanks, Ronald. Okay, another comment from Ron. It's 1:45 a.m. in the States. Oh, cool. Bit of a night owl, are you? Sitting out in the backyard. Your video is coming through perfectly. Whoa, that's nice. That's awesome. Especially coming from overseas. That's really nice to hear that the stream is working well and you're getting a nice steady, yeah, running video. But that's good. I'm glad you commented on that. So I'm going to go through and forge a bit more on that steel and get a bit more progress in the object. I'll hot cut it soon, and you'll see. But yeah. Okay, we're getting some nice progress. So I've started to put a bit of a taper and a bit of a curved, more ornate looking form to the Kiridashi. So when I'm holding it, it's got a nice forward facing point and tip, and essentially once I've got that in place, I can use it like a standing knife, drag it along the surface of whatever I'm cutting. It could be a box, could be an unboxing of some sort, but yeah, ideally that's what I want. So I'm going to probably hot cut the end of the steel. You can see that in the right light. Oh, you can, nice. So I'm going to hot cut just this area here, and you can see where the blade starts to taper off into a thin blade profile. Yeah, I don't really want any longer than that, and I might put a little bit of a ball peen texture into the surface of the steel, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, if you just joined the stream, thank you so much for watching. I'm making a Kiridashi, a Japanese style utility knife. Yeah, maybe someone in the comments can give me a bit of a backstory on this particular knife, who knows more about the knife. That would be really cool. I don't want to say it wrong on stream, so I'm just going to be nice and quiet. But yeah. Christian, you always seem to stream about when I'm about to work. Oh, I'm sorry. You're in Sweden, I think. I forgot where you live. But yeah, it's nice to know that the streams are going well overseas, and you're getting a nice consistency that way. I really like to hear that. But yeah, I like it. I like the curve. Says Ronald. I've seen a straight. Yeah, it just depends on the style. I like to put a bit of a curve in my Kiridashi blades, but that's just a personal flair that I have that option to do so, which is lovely. So I'm going to put it back in the fire and do a little bit more work. So I'm going to put my hot cut hardy tool into the anvil. Correct? Yes. Cool. I've got a decent memory. That's good. Right. So this is my hot cut hardy tool. It sort of slots into the square part of my anvil, the square hole, which is called a hardy hole, if you don't know. Once it slots inside the hardy hole, I'm going to put a hot piece of steel over the wedge shape, and then pretty much hammer directly on top of that wedge to start hot cutting the steel. It's kind of like dough or like pastry. It's really soft and easy to do. It's really hard to do if you don't do it if you're just doing it cold. It won't really work as well. So ideally, that's why we do it hot. So yeah, that's the hot cut. It's going to go into the forge. That's it's going to go into the anvil. And once I've got that done, yeah, I'll put a bit of a ball peen texture. I'll swap hammers and show you a smaller hammer that I use, and then you'll see a little difference in the shape. The curve will definitely help with the handling. Exactly, yeah. Curves in forward-facing handles throughout history have proven otherwise very effective because of the reach that they can get and a play on extensions. But anyway, that's another story for another day. I'm going to put this guy in and get back into it. Bent my blade, I'll just show you. That's what the hot cut's done. That's in just what, 4 blows of the hammer. I've managed to just about shear the rest of that, well, the majority of that metal off. I'll straighten the blade out after I've done that, but that's fine. But it just shows how efficient and effective these guys are. So that's the Kiridashi nice and cut away. I'm going to straighten that guy out now and start to put a texture into the surface of the handle. And I'm going to put the rest of the steel to the side. So if you're watching the stream, I hope you're having a nice evening. Chilling out at home, hopefully. You've just finished work, ideally, or you're on your way home. If you're in traffic, as I was saying earlier in the stream, then sit tight because it's going to be awesome, and I hope you've enjoyed it so far. But yeah. Okay, you should do a karambi. Yeah, I could do or karamba, as English people like to call it. But yeah, I could do karambi next time. That'd be kind of fun. They're quite nasty knives, but they're efficient at what they do. That's the idea, I guess. Yeah, that's a good suggestion for next evening's stream. I'll keep that in mind. Cheers, Ronald. So I'm going to straighten this guy out. I'll show you the hammer I'm going to be using. Okay, so I'm going to swap over to a smaller ball peen hammer, just for a size comparison. Much heavier hammer, much smaller hammer. Let's kind of them together like that. Probably weighs about twice the weight of this one. I'm going to be using the ball part of the hammer to put little dents into the surface of the handle. Once I've got little dents in the surface, and applying that in a multiple fashion, lots of little craters along the surface, that's going to give me a texture. Once I've got that texture in place, I'll probably flip it over and do that on the other side. I have to be careful when I hammer one side not to revert the other side, so I might work by flipping them over like that, working from one end to the other end of the handle. And yeah, we'll see how we go from there. But get a bit of a texture in there, and I'll probably slowly forge in the bevel. We'll see if we can get a hardening heat treatment in place, but can't really promise things. It's yeah, it's a stream. I probably only got about 10 minutes to go as well, and then the guy's gonna be here for the evening class. So yeah, 10 more minutes. We'll see how we go. I hope lighting is going to be forgiving. You can hope, oh there we go, cool. We can see a texture. So that's on both sides. So as I said, just flipping it over as I'm working, try not to revert what I've just done, seems to be working. So yeah, another maybe 2 more heats and I should be done. And then I'll probably plunge this guy in some oil for you guys to see the heat, or the hardening anyway. Yeah, and we'll see how we go. Back in the fire. So I hope you're all having a nice evening. I've repeated myself a little bit, but we keep getting people on and off the stream who have not quite caught up with what's happening. So yeah, hope you're enjoying the stream, and these are quite consistent. We're trying to be quite consistent with them every Wednesday evening. We put a small poll out about the change of times, perhaps maybe a later stream and perhaps multiple days, but it just depends on what you guys suggest and think. But having a little bit of feedback gives us a bit more data to compile a bit more of an idea of what and when to do streams, and obviously to make it the most efficient as well, so that everyone gets a chance to check out the stream. So yeah, you were going to say about half the weight. Yeah, it's about half the weight visually, but it might even be heavier because this is a very wide hammer as well. But yeah, you like the hammer texture? Yeah, I like hammer textures on steel. It just adds a bit more character to the metal. It sort of, instead of just it being sort of flat, polished and shiny, that's nice. But you find once you get to that polish, that mirror finish, you actually want to revert back to a sort of more simple form, a bit more of a yeah, just a more rough texture, a bit more ornate. Yeah, it's just, that's the plan. But yeah, see how it goes. Let's see a bit more comments. Yan, how's it going? Thank you for, I hope you enjoyed the stream. I like the videos you're putting out as well. I like the orange one, that was good. It was very, very entertaining. Very fun. Alright, I'm going to hammer some more steel so you can watch what I'm doing. Right. Safety gear. Da, da, da. So, that's our texturing. Again, if lighting wants to be my friend, let's see how we are. There we go, you can see it now. So that's the hammer forged texture there on both sides, and then you can see how it transitions from texture to a flat face, and then again, a bit more easier to see on that side, much more flat face. Flat face. So yes, I'm going to forge the bevel, straighten this guy up, it's a bit wonky, and harden this guy. So 1 or 2 more heats, probably another 5 minutes before I finish the stream. Yeah, and we'll get into it. Hope you're all enjoying the stream. I'm just going to check some more comments really quickly. Old school look, yeah, exactly. Yeah, when you go for that smooth, hard, smooth finish, it's hard to know exactly when to stop. Yeah, exactly, yeah. That just depends on the material it is. How's it going? They're already here. So yeah, 1 more heat and I'll be done. So yeah. Okie dokie. So you can see I put that, again, if Lighting wants to be my friend, you can see that bevel I put on the right side of the blade. Flat on this side, bevel on this side. I won't heat treat this guy. My class is here now, so I have to end the stream, and I've been a little bit longer than I had been in the past, but that's the Kiridashi, and hope you enjoy the stream. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.